Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer, and today we're taking a look at Bestafera. Bestafera is a 32-bit Trojan that affects Windows operating systems. If we come over here and take a look at VirusTotal, we can see that the first submission time was January 16th, and the last submission time was 6 days later by yours truly. And the creation time is actually pretty recent, but we never go by this because it's always fake. If we take a look up here, despite being 6 days old, this only has 39 detections. So if we go to detections, we can see our popular threat label for this video is Trojan.Bestafera/heuristic3. Threat categories is Trojan and Downloader, and family labels Bestafera and Heuristic3. Your tags for this video are portable executable, checks disk space, calls WMI, checks user input, long sleeps, detects debug environment, and persistence. And if we take a look at the major AV companies that have a detection for it, we have Avast, AVG, Bitdefender, BCAF Pro, CrowdStrike. What else do we have? GData, Google, MCSoft, Kaspersky is detecting it as Bestafera. Bitdefender has a heuristics detection. Fair enough. We can see that Google has one, McAfee Scanner, Palo Alto Networks, Microsoft, Lanham, Sophos, Symantec, and that seems to be about all the major ones. Now let's take a look at the major ones that don't have a detection for it. We have Avira. They've been doing pretty poor lately. ClamAV. ESET doesn't have one. I may send this to them after the video. We'll just have to see. Malwarebytes doesn't have one either. And who else? And Webroot, to the surprise of nobody. But I may send this to ESET and Malwarebytes. We'll just have to see. If we go to details, here is your MD5, your SHA-1, and your SHA-256 for the video. If you're new to the channel and you want to follow along, this will be in the comments section, so you don't have to type it letter for letter. And the two names it's been uploaded under are this randomstring.exe, which is what I have, and checking.exe. Okay. If we go to relations, we have 22 contacted URLs, and a lot of them have detections. However, most of the ones with detections, as you'll notice, are apparently a Brazilian government website, sintegra.gov.br, and it leads to GIFs and things of that nature. We've also got some from Baizatudo. If this is in Portuguese, I don't speak Portuguese, so I apologize. I'm going to butcher everything. PCWindows.github.io, ClubWin, and whatever the heck that says, along with a couple of other things as well. We do have 14 contacted domains. So we've got this .github.io, we've got official officemize.website, and Google Analytics has one detection. Okay. Contacted IP addresses, some of them have one detection, but the rest have 0. And 2 execution parents, a .msi and a .zip. Oh yeah, bundled files as well. They all either have no detections, or they've not been scanned and are temporary. We do have some dropped files here, though. One has 9 detections, a file underscore nq2j8zz.exe. We've got an invoice defense.dll and a spreadsheet shield.dll that all have detections. Quite interesting there. And if we go to behavior, again, I don't spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you don't want to follow along, now's your chance to check for yourself. We have no sandbox detections, odd, and we have 3 high, 4 medium, and 2 low crowdsourced Sigma rules, but no crowdsourced IDS rules. And last but not least, let's take a look up here in community. We can see that Jonker Labs, BS for VT727, and then Jaffa Cakes and Joe Security have been here. So another 2 new faces that I'm not familiar with, or lack of faces. We'll go ahead and minimize this, and we'll take a look at the programs we'll be using to analyze this malware. We have System Informer. We have Process Monitor, Wireshark, and Zooey. Last but not least, let's take a look at the properties, and if we go to details, this has no details. But this is better than the last video, which said it was a PDF and had extremely realistic looking 7-zip details. So I'd rather have this. You don't get any points, but you don't lose any either. Now, let's get ready to run the malware. We're going to execute process monitor and let that start capturing stuff. Same with Wireshark. Let's go ahead and open our system informer over here, and let's run some malware. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Sure I do. We click yes, it immediately opens down here and opens PowerShell and console host. And if we keep looking at it here, it does it again with a new one, and it opens Microsoft Edge, but instead of opening it in the actual Explorer, well, I guess it did migrate to the actual Explorer, it was running under its own process at first, which I don't see very often. We can also see that, if you remember, we had a file underscore j something.exe. Now it's file underscore and something else.exe, so it's just file underscore random name. But if we look over here, we have a Brazilian web page. Translate page from Portuguese? Yes, please. How much can it actually translate? Not much. So we have state registries. The site is best viewed in 800 by 600 resolution. We can also see that this is not secure, so that's interesting. It's hosted by Cephas RS ProSergs. I don't know what that means. We've got a bunch of federation units. Choose a federation unit for a consultation. Now, again, I don't speak Portuguese, so we're not going to spend much time on this anyway. But let's choose... this would be Montana in the United States. So let's choose that one. And this will take us to cephas.mt.gov.br, which is an HTTPS. So if we translate this, it goes proof of state registration and registration status, Governor de Estado de Mato Grosso. Okay, Secretaria de Estado de Fazenda, which I'm assuming these are like local places for the province I chose. Document type, IE, CNPJ, CPF. If I choose one of these, is it going to make me upload something? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, it's putting in dashes for what I typed in. I started to say, is it actually typing in slashes and everything? Well, we'll do EALB, and if we send it, I'm sure it's going to show up as invalid. Invalid CNPJ. So it does look to be an official, like, Brazilian government website. So, interesting. But if we lower that, we can see that the main program is finished running. I'm going to go ahead and pause process monitor before it dies. And it seems to have done everything it's going to do. So now let's go ahead and pause Wireshark. We can see there's 21,000 packets. So the best thing to do is just to go ahead and save this and run it through Zooey. And I'm going to start a new packet capture just in case this file is reaching out to a C2 or something similar. And we're going to shove win.pcap into Zooey. So we'll go to Documents and get that ready. And as you can see, we had a text file in our documents. Okay. It's also empty. Not sure if it was meant to do something with that, but alright. So now let's go ahead and open Process Monitor. We're going to move it over here. We're going to move it over here. I will freaking fight you. Get the heck over here. Alright, we're going to expand it to about here, so if any new processes that are suspicious open up, we'll see them. But we're going to do two filters. First filter we're going to do is operation is create file. And the second filter is process name is not typing all at. We'll click add and apply. And it'll take around probably 30 seconds because of just how much crap that it's already picked up on. And if we look at Zooey, finished with less than a minute ago with one error. Running as a service, not enough space while trying to allocate a certain amount of bytes. My brain's brain dead from doing college work all day, so I'm not even going to try to read that. We'll try again, because this has happened once before, and we tried to do it again, and it came out completely fine, but we'll see what happens. Now this is done. So we'll go ahead and close it. And as we can see, there's 640 events. So let's expand the path here and see if there's anything suspicious. So immediately it opens... Oh, sorry, that wasn't the beginning. We do have a prefetch here. It says name not found, and it might be here. We have the prefetch. Okay. If we keep scrolling down, we've got .exe.mun. It accesses the temp directory, a temp, just a regular temp file, and then temp.ps1 for PowerShell. So it is accessing PowerShell, as we saw in System Informer already. A bunch more DLLs. It's accessing the PowerShell directory directly. More DLLs, PowerShell.exe, inet cache, inet cookies, PowerShell.exe.mui. It's accessing temp again. Is that the same temp file as earlier? Good question. No, it's a different one. Okay. I wonder what it would be doing with these, but that's a static analysis thing. So let's keep going. It's accessing the history for Microsoft Windows and on Internet Explorer as well. Interesting. It's also accessed the Policy Manager. Okay. It's accessed Edge directly, which it had to open up the Brazilian government's webpage. And then we come over here and we see... Oh, come on, man. App data roaming my folder. So we jump to this. It is still there. And it's got this file that we're seeing right here. And if we hover over it while it's running, it is showing this is the directory. We've also got the two DLLs we found that said they were malicious. InvoiceDefense.dll and SpreadsheetShield.dll. Do with that as you will. And we've got schannel.dll, mskeyprotect. These are a few I haven't seen before, but the rest I can tell they're just crypt files. Local low directory. And then we seem to be reaching the end. But as you can tell, we also have some new things in the inet cache, which one is our matrixmanio.matrix, one is our baletamanio.ball, and one is our filebbsen.cry. And if you remember, those were also showing up in the virus total results. We also have got spreadsheet shield being called. So I'll check and see if it's creating or accessing any files, but I doubt it. And then it seems to do that weird thing that we saw in the malware not too long ago, where it's putting in, I don't know the right name for it, but it's putting in like the directory traversal. So that's weird. But then it goes back to the my folder and runs this file again and seems to kill itself. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to do one of those. I tell you what, we'll do that later. Let's do this file first, and then we'll try one of those DLLs and see if they actually show us anything interesting. So we're going to go down to this file. We're going to add, and we're going to apply. And Zooey, did you work this time? No, it crashed again. How incredibly interesting. Okay, well, let's delete these because there's nothing in them. And let's go... We'll try it one more time. If I have to manually analyze this dude, I'm going to lose my mind. We could do it. I just don't want to. So we can see there's 209 events here. The prefetch, I'm sure it's here because the last one was. And then we can see it's calling some drivers and more DLLs. It's calling Spreadsheet Shield again. So both of these files are calling Spreadsheet Shield and the other, the InvoiceDefense.dll. Interesting. Is there anything else that's jumping out at me? I don't see anything, just a bunch of DLLs and things we've already seen. We can see a standard DLL is put in the my folder directory, but was deleted after. Okay. And that means that Zooey is done. ESE. Not sure what that is, but we can also see at the end we've got control and informacos.txt. Says it was deleted. Let's hope we get lucky. Well, it's still here. 1 kilobyte. Usario? Nome usario? Sistema? Okay, so I'm assuming that it's bugged and it's saying username with no username and operation system. Windows? I can Google Translate this at least. Because you don't get much out of a text file every day. Username, operating system Windows. So, okay. Username? Interesting. That wasn't too far off, I guess. But yeah, if I tried talking like that in Brazil, I'd probably get the crap beaten out of me. We'll go ahead and close that, and that's going to be it for that. We will try one of the DLLs, but I'll go ahead and tell you now we're not going to get much information from it. So we'll try the... Which one do we want to try first? I don't remember the names of either of them, so guess what we get to do? Come on. First one we'll try is invoice defense.dll. We'll add that. I'll tell you what, we'll just add both at the same time. And then we'll try spreadsheet shield.dll. And while it's doing that, give me good news, please. I'm gonna lose it. Okay, I guess we're not gonna get to use Zooey today. My fault for believing I could have anything go right. It might be because we have so many events in Process Monitor as well, though. But as you can see, once we put in those DLLs, there's really no information here. So we'll go ahead and close Process Monitor. We're done with it. And then I'm going to see if Zooey will work now. Because it may just be that we didn't have enough memory. It's possible. So let's go ahead and open Zooey one more time. Give it the benefit of the doubt. And let's open 1.pcapng. Now, while it does that, let's go back to Firefox, because I want to check some things. So even though... I'll go ahead and stop this one as well and save it as 2. But even though we didn't get Zooey to work, at least right now, we can take a look at relations and look for some of these IP addresses. Now, none of them immediately jump out, and I'm starting to think... I'll save that opinion piece for the end of the video. But right now, we only have one detection as the highest amount, and they're all either out of the US or Brazil, and one out of China. The surprising thing to me is, all of the ones with detections are out of the United States. The ones out of Brazil are clean, according to VirusTotal. So I'm just going to open maybe this one. And where does it say... It says it's a Fastly. IB Patriot... Okay. Group IP Patriot EN. Maybe English? It has a community score of -45. So what are they saying? brew.sh, formulate.brew.sh, GitHub IP, safe, GitHub, IOC was reported in a paste. It's GitHub IP. Okay. So that being said, then these IPs over here, all of them, maybe even the 186 and 187 as well, most likely tie into the GitHub that we saw here. But that doesn't mean it's clean. I mean, obviously GitHub is safe, but these IPs might be contributing to the malware. We also have this officemice.website. I'm going to put it in manually. I'm sure it's not going to do anything. Wow, no shock there. But let's try abuse IPDB and whois. I can't use abuse IPDB for this, but we'll get it up anyway. And I'll put the domain in there. Officemice.website. Are you going to tell me anything? So its registrar is tucals.com. It's on a hold, and transfer is prohibited. So maybe this was suspended? Nice. But yeah, it looks like this was put on a server hold by ICANN. Interesting. This very rarely happens. But, okay. Another thing that I want to do, I want to copy one of those GitHub IP addresses. Where are we even? There we go. So we'll just grab this one. I think that's the last one we had last time, or it was the 110. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But we'll copy that, and I'll shove it in here, and let's check for reports. So it says the IP was reported 246 times, and the confidence of abuse is 27%. True to what they were saying, it is a GitHub thing. And let's see, the most recent report was 5 days ago. WebP image sensor, HTTP response, a port scan, a port probe. Interesting. And a lot of these are verified users. All right. We'll come back to that, but now let's go ahead and take a look at Zooey. And yeah, I guess it did have to be the process monitor that caused that. We have 555 rows, so I'm going to skim through a little bit. These are all suricata, and I'm sure all of these are going to be suricata. Yeah. So let's get most of the alert 3s. I'm looking for alert 2s and alert 1s, which we may not get to see. It is possible. But we'll scroll through here. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open 2.pcap.ng. Now, while it's doing this, we don't really have anything else to do other than restart the computer and see if it has persistence. Here's what I think is going on. I don't think this is a rat. I don't think this is an info stealer. Because from what we've seen, it's not sending off any of your data. The only thing with a worrying amount of detections we've seen, and this is just one point, virus total detections obviously don't count for everything, but the only one that we've seen with more than 1 or 2 detections is that officemice.website, and the vast majority of the 1 detections came from a Brazilian government website. I'm thinking this is just a simple Trojan. It's a Trojan in the sense that it pretends to be something else. I don't know what it's pretending to be, honestly, but it's pretending to be something else. And it pops up the official Brazilian government's webpage for whatever the heck that province lookup thing is. And it is just working normally. So I don't know why they're doing this. I don't speak Portuguese. Is this maybe like a propaganda thing? Maybe it's meant to like spread awareness for something that the government is doing in Brazil. I do know that the Brazilian government is absurdly corrupt, but that's really all I can think of. When I first got this and I saw that it was at least 6 days old, it could be 12 if the creation time is correct. And honestly, I, in this case, believe it is, because the malware is extremely simple. When I first got it and I saw it was 6 to 12 days old with only like, what, 35, 39 detections? Yeah, 39. I was like, wow, that's incredibly interesting, and I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of anything with a her3 or Bestafera, either one. So maybe it's something unique and cool that I'm getting to discover. Then I see the things that it does. My folder, file underscore something dot exe. This is really poorly made. The only thing I can think of, and this ties in, is that the file has so few detections because the file is not inherently doing anything malicious. It's just, like, you obviously don't want it on your computer, but I'd call it more of a PUA than an actual Trojan. But still, if it has persistence, then that's obviously nasty. But I doubt this is doing anything to steal your data. We have no evidence of that whatsoever. We have no evidence that it's even trying to. So it does, like, even the user and operating system thing we saw, the user said username and the operating system just said Windows. And this is an executable file. And I very highly doubt there's a version made for Linux or Mac OS. So, but that being said, we'll go ahead and query this last pool, and then we'll restart the computer. So we have 301 total rows, and I'm sure all of these are just going to be suricata. I don't know anything here that's just going to scream alert 2 or alert 1. Sorry, hiccuped. But yeah, this is all suricata stuff, which can be ignored. So all that's left to do now is restart the computer. Oh, thank you so much, Windows Update, for sending a bunch of information. Alright, let's go ahead and restart. I'm not updating. I'm going to have to update the virtual machine after this and create a new snapshot. Because if I keep doing the videos without updating it, it's eventually going to force an update. Then I'm going to have to edit the video to cut that out. And you guys know I'm lazy. But yeah, we'll wait for this to restart. Should only take a few more seconds. We'll open System Informer as quickly as we can, and we'll see if it has persistence. Let's go ahead and open System Informer. And if we scroll through here, I'm not seeing anything, and usually it takes longer than this to... Wow! Wow, really? It is persistent? Huh. Well, I mean, really quick, let's open Process Monitor and just let it capture as much information as possible. But I really wonder what it's doing. So we'll do the create file operation again, and then process name of that program. God, I really hate that I have to type all this in manually. You know what? We're not going to type it in manually. Come here. Open file location. Yoink. Paste. Add. Apply. The freaking capture is disabled. Resume the capture, please. Now let's try it. There's a chance it's still doing something. I just don't know what that something is. No, it's not doing anything. The filter's already applied. I'm assuming that when it starts up, it's just checking to see... I don't know what it's doing. I really don't. I refuse to believe that this is actually a rat that sends off your data to somebody. Because it didn't do anything to hide what it was. And it's still not. But it's so odd that it has persistence. But anyway, that's going to be it for the malware. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this review of Bestafera, please make sure to leave a like and a comment in the comment section down below, letting me know what you thought was interesting about this malware. There was quite a bit. Also, leave a comment if there's anything I didn't do that you want to see in future videos, or if there's anything I did do that you feel like is a little unnecessary. My name is Larry Bodenheimer. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.